whole time.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the 815 Sports Podcast. Jake and I here ready to do our NFL Week 6 picks. But this week just started off, going to talk about our weekend overreactions. I'm going to list a couple topics here. Jake can give his point on them, and then I'll give mine. So first off, I think the Texas Rangers are for real, and I think they're going to come out of the AL. Jake, what do you think?
Oh, are we talking baseball?
That's just something I want to talk about.
Oh,
to
shit.
start it off.
Yeah, no, you're right. Okay, I was thrown off there, but yeah, Texas is gonna. I think it's gonna be the battle of Texas because I think Houston is gonna win that series versus Minnesota, which will then mean Texas will play Houston. And how cool will that be?
I don't know how far it is between Arlington and Houston, but that's where they're both located.
Than a couple hours.
Yeah, probably a couple hours, but Texas is
so then you got in the NL, the Braves and Phillies, which that is going to be 2-1 because Philly's absolutely kicking the shit out of Atlanta right now.
Yeah, which I'm sure nobody expected.
No, but there's still one more game, and we've seen. Did you see the ending of Game 2?
No.
In the Philly game?
Is that when he caught it?
He caught it and doubled off Harper?
Yeah. Arcia guy, and then Harper hit 2 home runs today.
So who would Philly play? I'm drawing a blank on the other two teams.
The Dodgers.
Oh yeah, okay. And how about that series? Arizona's up 2-0. I mean, wow.
I wasn't expecting that from Arizona.
Well, the first game was a blowout. Second game was kind of more interesting. So yeah.
And Houston and Minnesota are playing right now, but I'm not sure who's winning that game. Because I know Abreu had another home run tonight.
See, I kind of think whoever comes out of that AL, I think is going to win it this year.
Yeah.
Because I
think it might be the Rangers.
How good was Philadelphia? How good was Atlanta all year?
Amazing.
I mean,
they had the best lineup in the baseball.
Some people say they had the best lineup ever.
Yeah.
And so Philly won 10-2. Dodgers Diamondbacks are warming up. It's 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th. Houston is beating Minnesota in the bottom of the 6th.
What's the series? 2-1?
2-1. So if
2-1 Houston?
Yeah. If Minnesota loses, they're out.
But yeah, so as far as baseball goes, I think Texas, the Rangers are one of the teams to beat, if not the team to beat. I think they're going to come out of the AL.
I just think how good, say what you want about Houston, and everyone's mad that they cheated, and maybe they did, maybe they didn't. How good is that organization? I mean, here we are again talking about Houston. Now, you don't always win it when you get there.
Yeah.
But just to be in that conversation
to be that good every year, yeah.
I mean,
because they were bad for a long time.
Bad. Houston was bad for a long time.
That's the first thing I want to touch on. The next thing I want to touch on was how big of a win Oklahoma got this weekend. Humongous win. They jumped from 12 to 5,
which I said they would. I thought maybe 7.
Yeah,
so it wasn't far off.
And really, if you look at it, if Oklahoma handles their business the rest of the way, they'll probably end up playing Texas again in the Big 12 championship.
Ooh,
that's going to be a dangerous game. But as far as the rest of the regular season goes, I think they're lining up to have a really good shot at making the playoffs.
So who's their hardest game?
The rest of the way?
Yeah. Really, it's nobody. They play who would you say?
Maybe Oklahoma State.
Okay.
I mean, they play UCF next week. They're on a bye now.
That's probably a rival game. So yeah, I would say
it's at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, that you can't have a hiccup there.
I think losing Lincoln Riley was one of the best things that happened to Oklahoma. And the reason I say that is because you can already tell the difference in how well the defense is playing this year compared to, years past. We've never had a defense, and the defense played really well against Texas. They only gave up 23 points. They gave up the 7 on the punt. Punt block.
I think that was a pretty good game.
Yeah, I think it was a great game
on both sides of the ball for both teams. That was football. The 60-point games, that's not really football. I mean, I like that game where you were at better than the ones that are like 62-58.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it's fun, but
it's also fun when you stuff them at the 1-yard line 4 times in a row.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's huge for the team that gets to stop.
How can you not? It's just like Illinois. They had the ball at the 1-inch yard line and got stuffed twice. How? Texas had 4 plays from the 1, and they didn't even get half a yard.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you do it. You got to get some push.
But yeah, there. I mean,
what I'm saying
if they went out there and
And not only are they in,
Facts.
I think they have a really good shot at actually contending to win it. I think they can make the national championship.
Yeah, if they went out, they're in. I kind of think Georgia might be their kryptonite. That would be a team I'd want to avoid. But like if they match up versus like an Ohio State or Michigan, like I like that matchup for them. But I don't like the Georgia matchup that well.
Yeah, Georgia's still the best team.
Georgia.
Yeah.
But
and then lastly, I know that you'll agree with me on most of these points. And this probably is an overreaction to some Packers fans, but I just want to say the way that the last 2 games have gone, it's been a complete decline from the first 3 games. And I also think that this could be and should be the last year of LaFleur if he can't get it turned around.
Your dad calls him LaFlop.
Yeah, my dad don't like him. I'm sick and tired of him. I'm obviously, as many of you saw, I'm pissed at Jordan Love, but I also think a lot of that has to do with LaFleur and his game plan when you had over a week to plan for the Raiders. The Raiders, who are not good either. They're not good. They're not good. The defense has been playing their ass off for the Packers, which is one thing you don't hear very often. But if your defense only gives up 17 points, your quarterback throws 3 picks, and you get to the red zone multiple times and only score 1 touchdown, you're not going to win the game. And I think Love has to be extremely better, or a lot of Packers fans, including myself, will want them to end up with some quarterback in the draft, and I think LaFleur needs to go. But that's all I got to say. Jake, go ahead.
I mean, I don't really have much to say about the Dolphins or any overreactions this week. Losing A-Chain might hurt. I don't know if it's going to hurt to the point to where the Dolphins falter, where like they lose games because of it. I just think it hurts like that explosiveness, that playmaker. But I mean, Raheem Mostert is not a step down.
Yeah.
If anything, they're the same. A-Chain might be a tad faster.
They're both fast.
They're both fast. So that sucks. I didn't like hearing that news. He's not out for the year. I'm hearing week 11 maybe. So that's only 4 more games, and then you got the bye. So he's only going to miss 4 games, and one's versus Carolina and one's versus New England, and they're both those games are in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know how much you'll miss him in those games, but in the Philadelphia and Kansas City games, you might miss him. And those are the other 2 games. So we can move on to the picks.
Yeah. First off, Jake, go ahead. Broncos at Chiefs.
Yeah, this is the worst fucking game of the week. I'm sorry. Thursday night football blows. It sucks. They either need to do away with it, or they need to be able to flex games, or they need to make better matchups when the season starts, because have we had a good Thursday night game yet? I don't think we have.
A competitive Thursday night game?
Well, I mean, sure, they've been competitive because they've been shitty teams, but team-wise, here we go again with fucking Denver. Terrible.
I can't really think of a great game off the top of my head.
Washington and Chicago.
That was a blowout.
Oh, good God. What were some of the ones before that? Do you remember?
I think the Eagles played the Vikings. Was that Thursday night?
Yeah. So I mean,
I think the Chiefs also. Well, the first Thursday night game wasn't bad, but that was national TV.
It's hard.
That was the Chiefs and Lions.
It's hard to pick these games, right? Because you don't know what teams are before the season. You only know what they were last year. And, maybe you thought Denver was going to rebound, so putting them, a divisional game. Mm-hmm. If Denver was better, this would be a pretty good game.
Yeah.
But Denver sucks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look at the spread. It's 10.5. I'll take it.
Can you believe how bad Russell Wilson's been since he's went to Denver?
Terrible. It's got to be. Is Pete Carroll just one of the best coaches ever, or is Russell Wilson a system quarterback? What is it?
I think Pete Carroll is just a really good coach.
He's a really good coach, but Russell Wilson has not done good in Denver.
And I personally think Denver has a decent team. They have a lot of pretty good players.
They got a lot of names, and they were projected to have a pretty good defense. And
they had a good defense last year.
They ain't got shit this year.
Yeah. With all that being said, I'm going to take Kansas City. It's at Arrowhead, so I would take 10.5. I would take 10.5. I think Mahomes might throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns.
This could be the upset of the year if Denver wins. That's how bad Denver is. They might get the number 1 pick. They might not win another game the rest of the year. You can't lose to the New York shitty Jets at home, which you bet. Well, we didn't
Jets,
bet.
baby.
We didn't
Jets.
bet. We should have bet. You'd have won. You can't lose to the Jets at fucking home. Ever. Especially when Rodgers isn't the quarterback. And they did.
We both got the Chiefs Thursday night.
Yeah, Chiefs.
All right, Ravens, Titans in London. Ravens coming off an absolute brutal loss last week.
This game's interesting.
I agree. The reason I say that is because really Baltimore had numerous chances to win this game and didn't do it. They're playing Tennessee, who also came off a loss last week. But I'm going to take Baltimore. I'd probably take the Titans +4, but I'm going to take Baltimore to win.
So this game is in London. I didn't know that when I made this pick until I just looked at the time.
We can change it back.
I know, but I just don't. Do you trust Lamar Jackson and the Ravens? Because I fucking don't. They're so what am I trying? What's the word I'm trying to
predictable?
They're unpredictable because they either score 30 points or they can't move the ball. I am gonna take.
You got to gain some games on me because I'm up by 7 games.
I don't know if this is the one to take though.
Look, I know Lamar got paid a lot of money, and I know that he definitely has talent, but it's just it doesn't always correlate with them. You know what I mean?
No, it don't. I'm gonna stick by it. I'm gonna take the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
I think that's a bad pick. I think next week you can tell me I said that, but I'm gonna stick with the Tennessee Titans.
Okay, I'm gonna roll with the Ravens. I think they have a little bit of a bounce back game against the Titans. Commanders at Falcons. Falcons favored by 2.5, which I'm kind of shocked about. I'm going to take Washington in this game. I know they got blown out by the Bears last week, but I really don't see Washington having that bad of a game against the Atlanta Falcons, so I'm going to take Washington to win.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Washington. I was going to take Atlanta, but I just don't. I don't know about Atlanta. They're a team that
they have some talent offensively, but I don't think they believe in the quarterback, and they just don't really move the ball that well either.
No.
Up next, we got Minnesota at Chicago.
Now, this is interesting.
Jefferson on IR for the next 4 weeks, and depending on how the season goes, because the Vikings are pretty poor right now, he might not play the rest of the year.
I don't know how you don't pick the Bears.
I'm taking Minnesota.
Why?
Well, when I first picked this game, I didn't know that Jefferson was going to be out, and now I'm just going to roll with it because I'm assuming you're going to take Chicago.
I'm taking the Bears.
Fields and DJ Moore are rolling right now, so I got to give them credit.
Bears, I think they're going to go 2-4. I don't know how good the Bears are going to be the rest of the year. They're another team that I don't know. I necessarily wouldn't want to play after what I've seen last week. DJ Moore looked unstoppable, and just Fields looked like he couldn't miss him. And I thought Washington had a good defense and was good, but that was in Washington too, by the way.
And they got
So
they got embarrassed.
I think the Bears come out and they finally win at home. If they fucking don't, they
should beat this team.
They should beat the Minnesota Vikings, and I don't even know if it should be. I think the Bears should kind of roll them. I don't mean beat them by 4 touchdowns.
Should handle them.
I think the Bears could be of the lead from the first quarter to the fourth because I don't trust Kirk Cousins.
He's actually been decent this year.
He's been decent, but
go. I bet you he gets traded.
How many close games did the Minnesota Vikings lose?
A lot.
A lot.
They won a lot of them last year, though.
Okay, but they also lose a lot of them, and now you don't have Jefferson, and you're playing at Soldier Field. The crowd's going to be a little bit more amped up because they're coming off a win, and they haven't seen a win in 365 days almost. So I mean, I think I got to take the Bears, and I'd almost take the Bears
if they were favored.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think the Bears win.
I'm still going to roll with Minnesota, though. I think Kirk can do enough to keep him in the ball game. I think the Bears still have a poor defense, to be honest with you. So I don't think that's going to be a problem for Kirk Cousins in this offense. I still think they can put up 25 points and have a chance to win. So
who's he throwing to now?
He's throwing to Jordan Addison, Hawkinson, and KJ Osborne.
Not bad.
Oh, it's not bad.
But they're 1-3 or they're 1-4. Like what? How the fuck are they 1-4?
they haven't won the other games.
I know, but you sit there and you name these players off who are decent, and it's like, what's wrong with them? I don't think they're that good.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's why I'm taking the Bears.
Yeah, well, that's fair. Seattle at the Bengals. Cincinnati had a pretty good game last week. Obviously, Jamar Chase balled out, which he said he's always open like 7-11. Seattle's a pretty solid team, though, too. But Cincinnati's at home, so I'm going to roll with Joe Burrow and the Bengals to figure it the fuck out.
So I'm going to take Cincinnati, too. This is a game I'd circle. I would have Cincinnati on upset watch. This would be my upset pick of the week because I like Seattle. I always talk about Pete Carroll. I think he's a great coach. And Geno Smith
is solid.
Looks like a good quarterback in his system.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Cincinnati, but this would be my upset pick of the week.
Yeah.
In a game I'd circle. I think this is going to be a good game. I think Baltimore and Tennessee is going to be a good game. I mean, I think everything so far is going to be a good game.
Yeah, it should be tight.
Besides Thursday Night Football, that will be a fucking tragedy.
You'll still tune in, though, won't you?
I suppose. I have no choice.
Up next,
oh boy.
On here we got the Panthers at Dolphins. Dolphins favored by almost 2 full touchdowns. Carolina, I think they're still without Bryce Young.
Hey, did we skip a game?
Yeah, we did on here because I did them backwards, but it's up next.
All right.
I'm going to take Miami. They're rolling. This is another shit team that they should beat, as Jake knows. They got some of the fastest guys in the NFL all over their team. They got a great coach who draws up amazing plays. Tua's getting it out quick. They're playing good.
Tua threw a lot of bullshit passes last week. He looked feeble sometimes. He threw 2 interceptions. Oh, my God. They were terrible. He just floated them. You could tell when it left his hands. It was like, oh, fuck. Picked off. I think the Dolphins win. I think they kill Carolina. I would probably take them to cover that spread. And then
I'd take the over in points. I think it's like 45. I bet the Dolphins score 30.
I don't think the offense changes that much just because they change out.
No.
However you say
No,
that
you guys can still put up points.
I mean, you didn't know who he was week 2, right? Or
I had heard of him just because of fantasy, but I didn't think he'd be as good as he is.
But after week 2, you're like, okay, and then this guy's taken off. So, like, you were good. You beat San Diego.
Yeah.
Or,
LA.
The Chargers.
Yeah.
You beat the Chargers. You didn't really know who he was. I mean, he had a few carries, and you're like, okay. New England on the road, which at 0-1, you still don't know how good a team is. So what I'm trying to say is I think they're fine. I don't even think it's a concern because you're just going to give the ball to Raheem and Jeff Wilson. I don't think is he going to be available this week?
I'm not sure.
I had to look that up, but yeah, I got Miami. I think they roll. I think this is pretty easy. I think it could be over by halftime. I think it could be a game where you're resting 2 in the 4th like you did versus Denver. Because then you have a big week next week.
It could be, but they can't play down to their competition, which could happen.
Could happen. I was kind of more concerned about the Giants because
a lot of people have the Giants as the worst team in the NFL.
Well, they might be.
How bad of a turn that was, paying him all that money, and here they are.
Yeah, they might be. Fuck, I don't know.
The game we are talking about now is the 49ers at the Browns. Niners just kicked the living shit out of Dallas. I mean, embarrassed them.
I thought them were the boys.
Well, they're not.
They're not. I don't think so
either. This 49ers team would be my pick to fucking win the Super Bowl this year. I don't know. I think it'd be hard to not pick them if you just watch. They're the best team in the league. I think
they're the best complete team.
Yeah. I would hammer this 5.5. I would because you don't even know if Deshaun Watson's going to play.
Yeah.
I would hammer 5.5.
I'm going to take.
And also, hot take, I think the 49ers have a team that could go undefeated and challenge the 72 Dolphins for a perfect record.
No.
That's my hot take.
They play the Eagles.
I don't give a shit who they play.
I think they play
this team's fucking good. And I think they got a shot to do that. I think they got a hell of a defense. They got a lot of weapons. Purdy is dealing.
Well, they got to play they're at Cleveland, at Minnesota. Then
they
play
Deshaun
the Bengals.
Watson's not playing.
Then they play at Jacksonville and at Tampa.
I think they can win all of those games.
They can win all those games, but
be in
Jacksonville just beat Buffalo.
In London.
This is in Jacksonville. Half like Christmas. Seahawks again at Cardinals versus Ravens. No, they got to lose a game or two.
They probably will, but I'm saying I think they got a shot to go.
What if they're undefeated in the Super Bowl and they play the Dolphins? And the only way to keep 72 alive is the Dolphins.
Well, that would be a hell of a storyline for the NFL, wouldn't it?
It might be.
Well, it would be.
It might be.
It might end up being the Super Bowl.
The AFC right now, well, it doesn't run through Miami, but they're the 2 seed. But you have a game versus Kansas City. So it could run through Miami. And if it does run through Miami, I really like the Dolphins' chances of winning 2 games to get to the Super Bowl. Where is that in Vegas this year?
Yeah. And I'll tell you, Vegas has a beautiful stadium. They put on a hell of a show there. They got concerts during halftime. Sometimes during the breaks, even they got songs going.
Nuts.
The place is beautiful. If you get a chance, you should go experience it. It looks awesome from the outside, just as well as it does when you get inside the stadium. And I was blessed to be able to experience that this past weekend. So
we both got San Francisco on the road.
Up next, we got Colts at the Jaguars, who Jake seems to be in love with here.
Who? Jacksonville?
Yeah, you seem to be in love with them.
They pretty much fucking ran over Buffalo. And if they had a competent offense in the red zone, they would have killed them.
Well, ETN played a hell of a game.
I'm just saying Jacksonville looked very good. It was a good game because they couldn't finish. They couldn't capitalize like you said.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers couldn't when they got in the red zone. That was the story of Jacksonville. Somehow they won because they continued to get down there.
Yeah.
I think Jacksonville wins. I think they win pretty easily. They're at home playing a division team. I got Jacksonville. I'd probably take them to cover.
I would hammer this because Anthony Richardson's not playing.
I just think
would hammer.
I think the Jags are a sleepy team.
But they're good.
They're good.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, you could consider them a sleeper, but they did get a lot of hype going into the season.
But
Lawrence is playing pretty well. I mean, ETN's a stud. They got Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk. They got a lot of good players on that team. Doug Peterson, Super Bowl winning coach. Yeah, I'd take Jacksonville.
Solid team.
Up next, Saints favored by 1.5 at the Houston Texans. I kind of wanted to take Houston in this game, but I'm going to take New Orleans and Derek Carr, and I would probably take 1.5. I mean, they just rolled New England. Granted, New England's shit, but
they did roll New England, and we're about to talk about them. God, I don't know if I trust the Saints, but I mean, do you trust Houston?
They've been playing decent ball. I mean, I'm taking the Saints.
I'm going to take Houston. Yep, fuck it.
Trying to gain some games. All right, up next, Patriots at Raiders. The Patriots are god fucking awful.
Terrible. They might be the worst team in football.
I think a lot of people have the assumption now that it was all because of Brady.
Yeah,
I mean, it kind of looks that way. I'm going to take the Raiders. They're at home, -3 against the Patriots, who are just terrible.
How bad are the fucking Patriots?
They didn't even score last week.
They're fucking. You think the Packers' offense is bad? It's a good thing you don't like the Patriots. They suck. Bill Belichick sucks. He needs to go. I don't think he's going to beat Shula's record.
Not at this rate.
Well, at this rate, I don't know if he's going to get the time to, because I think they might tell him, hey.
At the end of the year?
They're either going to make him step down from general manager and just be the head coach, or they're going to be like one or the other. I don't know if they'll let him stop being the head coach and just be the general manager, because he's obviously not making good football decisions.
He's getting old.
I mean, he's 70 or 71. He is in his 70s.
I think he's going, like you said, to beat Shula's record. I don't think he's going to do it. I like the Raiders in this one. I think
the Raiders.
Devontae should be more healthy. Should be more healthy in this game. I think Max Crosby tears it up. Josh Jacobs can run the ball. I'd have a very tough time picking against Vegas this week, so I'm not. I'm taking Vegas.
Yeah, I got Vegas as well.
Up next, Cardinals at Rams. I'm going to take the Rams. They lost to the Eagles this past weekend. I'm going to take the Rams. I don't know if I'd take -7, but I think you still got Stafford there against the Cardinals, who have Josh Dobbs. You got Cooper Kupp back. You got Puka. You got a lot of other guys in that team who are playing well. You still got Aaron Donald on defense. I'm going to take the Rams.
Yeah, I got the Rams as well. I think they win pretty easily at home versus Arizona. Arizona, had that shocking game versus Dallas, but I don't think there's much there.
Up next, we got Eagles at the Jets. How about the Jets this weekend? I told everybody, you can go back and watch. I told everybody, I told Jake, I said the Jets are for real.
They ain't for real.
They're for real.
Oh, they beat the Broncos.
They're for real. I told you they were going to beat the Broncos. They beat the Broncos. Zach Wilson looks like a different player. He looks a lot more zoned in, a lot more focused. Let me say this, Jake, really quick. I actually wanted to take the Jets this week, but I'm taking the Eagles. I wanted to take the Jets this week, but I'm taking the Eagles. What
happens when they're 2-4 and you come next week and you tell me they're a good football team at 2-4? You still going to tell me that at 2-4?
I will, because they're going to put up a good fight against the Eagles.
They might, but you lose. So
they might beat them.
No.
All right, hot take of the week, just like Jake had one last week. Jets to beat the Eagles this week. Hot take.
Okay.
Hot take.
Well, you know what? Why don't we talk about who won in fantasy this week? 2 times. Tell them. Tell the viewers.
Yeah, Jake double dipped and kicked my ass in fantasy.
Tell the viewers. They need to know.
I just told them. Why don't you tell them? It's your point to brag about.
Nope. No bragging here. Just went 2-0 versus Cole in fantasy, and I fucking suck at fantasy.
So I wasn't even at one of the drafts this year.
Well, I was at that draft.
I had another person draft for me. But yeah, my teams are bad in fantasy.
But anyways, I don't think the Jets are that good. I think the Jets are a 7 or 8 win team. So if you think that's good, that's not even close to the playoffs. And I think Philadelphia steamrolls the Jets, probably by 2 touchdowns.
I'll bet you they don't win by 2 touchdowns.
They're favored by a 7.
I don't care. The Jets are not going to lose by 2 touchdowns.
Good God. Okay, I'm just taking Philadelphia.
I'm a big Jets guy.
Oh, good God. Please don't.
Jets guy.
I'm a big Bears guy. I mean, that's how it sounds.
I'm taking the Eagles, though. But a hot take, I think the Jets are going to be in that game, and they could
Lions at Bucks. This game is going to be great. The reason I say this is Tampa Bay is a shocking 3-1, right? I think
Baker's playing decent football.
Baker's playing decent. They're a shocking 3-1 to me. Clear the motherfucking puck. And the Lions, I think the Lions are for real. And when I mean for real, like I think they're like very close to stepping in to be a top 5 team in the league. I think they're that good.
I think they're already top 5.
Okay.
I put them at 5.
But here's a chance for the fucking Tampa Bay Bucks to be like, hey, we're still here. You win this game at home. Now, the Lions fans will probably flood Tampa. Away fans kind of flood those Florida teams, even Miami, because
touristy.
It's hot.
Yeah.
And it's always cold in the north. So why not take a vacation and watch football?
Although Detroit's in a dome.
True. Still cold year-round there almost.
Yeah.
Besides summer. This is a very interesting game, and I kind of wish this was – you kind of wish this
was in more of a primetime slot.
Right, because this is this is a 1 game. We really skipped this.
Yeah, I messed up.
Okay, I'm all messed up.
But we're on Detroit. Detroit, Tampa.
I mean –
that'd be nice if it was a Sunday night game.
Yeah, because the fucking Sunday night game's feeble.
Thursday night sucks.
I've got Detroit.
I've got Tampa.
Oh, I don't know about that, but
I'm riding with Tampa because of Baker.
Oh God!
And I think Baker's gonna have a big game. They're playing well this week.
You better watch that game with your buddy Christian.
I'll be at work, so I won't be watching it with him. But Baker's been rolling. Mike Evans has been rolling. Chris Godwin's been rolling.
All right.
This team has a lot of good players. Baker went to OU, Texas. He knows what the fuck is up. Everybody was hating on him. Cleveland should have never got rid of him for Deshaun Watson. I think even you can agree with me on that. He played the entire year on a fucked up shoulder.
I think he got shafted.
He got the shit end of the stick there after beating Pittsburgh in a playoff game the year beforehand and nearly knocking off the Chiefs. He's going to come out, and they're going to have a statement fucking win on Sunday against Detroit.
Well, you definitely sound
statement
like Miller. I'm going to tell Miller to give you a jersey, and that can be your team this year besides the Packers.
I love Baker Mayfield. You've known this for years.
Well,
OU guy. I bleed OU.
Yeah.
I bleed OU, and they're going to win this game.
I don't think so. I think Detroit's for real.
I don't care if you think Detroit's for real, Jake.
But if they lose this game,
But Tampa's not expected to win this game. 95% of the country, I guarantee you, is going to take this right, including yourself.
But there's a reason it's only a 3-point spread. Vegas thinks it's going to be close, and if Vegas thinks it's going to be close, let me tell you, it's going to be fucking close. Because Vegas knows. And Vegas knows because Vegas has money. And Vegas probably pays people or I'm telling you. Sometimes this shit looks rigged.
Sometimes it does. I can't disagree with that. How about
sometimes
the Chiefs?
Don't.
The Chiefs have gotten away with a lot of things this year, but we're not going to get into it.
I was a big Patrick Mahomes fan and would root for the Chiefs. But after some of the shit they get away with, I don't know that I can anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Until I see other teams get away with it.
Well, they're like the NFL's
new Patriots.
The NFL loves them.
Well, because they're a moneymaker.
Well, and now they got Taylor Swift, so they even are bringing in more money. And they every time the Chiefs win, they put the Chiefs undefeated as with Taylor Swift as a fan or something in their bio. So, but I got the Bucs in this game. Sunday Night Football going to be an absolute shit show.
Fucking
I mean, absolute shit show.
These primetime games suck.
They do.
Goodness fucking gracious.
Monday
night, I take that back. Monday night might be a good game.
Monday should be a good game.
I'm taking Buffalo.
I'm taking Buffalo. I don't know who would take the Jets.
The Jets. Yeah, you're still stuck on the fucking Jets.
The Giants. The Jets are New York's team.
They shit. The Jets are like the White Sox. The stepbrother. The Giants have 2 Super Bowls in the last how many years? 15?
20.
When was their
07?
07 and what?
07 and 2012?
2011? Well, whatever. The fucking Jets don't have a Super Bowl since the 60s.
70s. Anyways, though, we both got the Bills in this one. I don't know why anybody would pick the Giants, although Dable's going to play his old team, but I don't think it matters.
I mean, I don't even know how they win this game. Is Barkley back? We don't know, right?
That's questionable. He could play this week.
Daniel Jones is questionable. If you don't have those 2 players, you're fucked. And I don't even know how you win. That defense would have to get 2 turnovers and run them back for points that way because I don't think this offense can put up points.
Their line's terrible.
The team's terrible.
Yeah. They're bad.
And you knew they were terrible when they lost week 1 40-0 at home to the fucking Dallas Cowgirls.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Cowgirls.
Monday Night Football.
This is
the only good primetime game of the week.
This is an interesting spread.
I'm going to take the Chargers.
I'm taking the Chargers.
The Chargers are at home. But I could also see Dallas, who just got completely embarrassed last week, coming out and having a good game. But
that place is going to be flooded with Cowboy fans.
Oh yeah. But I think Vegas was flooded with Packers fans. There was a hell of a lot of Packers fans there. But I'm going to take the Chargers. I think Dallas is starting to not believe in Dak anymore.
I'm just telling you, like Stephen A. says, just give them time to become the Dallas Cowboys. And here we were sitting when they were 3-0. Oh, the Cowboys. Oh, they might be one of the top 3 teams in the league. Oh, fuck. Here we sit now at 3-2, on the brink of going 3-3, which you're fucked because Philadelphia is undefeated, right? You are not winning the division. That's gone. That story is gone unless you sweep Philadelphia. So, which
probably ain't gonna happen.
No.
So they could win 1.
So you potentially this week are 3 games out of first place. It will be week 7. Are you still them boys? I mean, are you going to get? There's 7 teams make it. Are you going to get the 7th wild card? Like, I don't even know if they're a playoff team right now.
They're a playoff team.
Do you want to go through and we can name you 6 or 7 teams?
Let's go. Well, we'll give you the. All right, Eagles, Niners, Lions.
Yep. I'm going to tell you, I think, where's it at?
Tampa Bay.
No, Seattle.
Okay, Seattle and Tampa.
I might. Now listen, all these teams are right there. Okay, I'm not saying the Cowboys are pathetic and they play the Dolphins and they're probably going to beat the Dolphins because of me talking shit about the Cowboys. But I'm just going to tell you, Seattle, we said Tampa. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many teams make it?
7.
Fuck.
No, actually 8 now.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No, there's 3 wild card teams.
Okay, so 7.
Yeah,
then 4
Jesus,
and 3.
8. That just seems
Sorry.
too much. So, you know what? I mean, sitting here. I mean,
the Rams might sneak in. New Orleans might sneak in.
I mean, we're talking about Dallas maybe, potentially. You know, if they don't get their shit together, they'll be 3-3 after 6 weeks.
They
you
might
still play the Dolphins, the Eagles twice.
I mean, they don't have an easy schedule by any means, but
so I'm just saying they're Jerry Jones's head's going to be fucking rolling if they lose Sunday, which I think they're going to lose Monday.
Yeah,
because we've already both said we're taking the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, right now, sure, I've got Dallas in. They're probably the first wild card. I think they're more lethal than Seattle, than Tampa. I don't know if I trust Dak, but I feel he's a better quarterback than Geno and Baker and Derek Carr. But Dak tends to shrink. And he
also said he's not going to throw 10 interceptions this year.
It's a big sample size,
that's
too.
That's looking like it's going to happen.
So I don't know about the Cowboys right now. 4 weeks from now, if they're 7-2, okay, they're them boys again. They are not. And Stephen A. called it, and everybody should have listened.
That's all we got this week. I think this week, if you're going to be watching college football on the weekend, I'd tune into Oregon, Washington, because they are on a bye, just like the Packers. But Oregon, Washington play at 7 versus 8. The winner of that game probably going to go to the Pac-12 championship. The loser probably is going to fall out of the Pac-12 championship game because
are they both undefeated?
Because you still got, like I said, you got Washington, Oregon, Utah could find a way in there. Washington State's playing decent ball. Oregon State's decent; they're ranked, and you got USC. But I don't think USC makes it the next 5 weeks and doesn't lose 1 or 2 games. They play Notre Dame, they play Oregon, and they play Washington.
Notre Dame.
How about that fucking game? Notre Dame's pathetic.
How about that game? Wow. You talk about a team that people were talking about in the Final Four, and now they're 3-2. And how they lost
Season's over. Season's over.
Their season's over. They went out. They're done. They might get a New Year's Six bowl if they win out.
Plus their name.
Okay, but they have to win out for a New Year's Six bowl.
One
more game, and they do not. If they have one more loss, they do not get a New Year's Six bowl.
You can disagree with me, but when I watch Notre Dame play, they play just like old style football. They don't play the way college is nowadays.
They're not an offense that can hit you one play and they're gone like normally your top 4.
They're like ground and pound.
Yeah, which that's fine.
If it's working.
But you better be able to stop the other team, and they normally can. They can score on you.
Mm-hmm.
They can't score on you in bunches normally.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're a sound football team. I wouldn't want to play them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't scare me. They're not going to the Final Four.
They should have beat Ohio State, though, 2 weeks ago.
Well,
they should have. The game against Louisville definitely put it to them.
The Cubs should have made the playoffs.
Yeah, well, we go on for days about that.
But I'm just telling you. I mean, I hate when people say they should have. Ohio State ran the ball in to win the game. That ball crossed the goal line. That means that final score read Ohio State was better.
I'm just saying.
Well,
You're right.
But every Notre Dame fan says the same thing. They should have won that game. But they didn't.
Okay, well, I've seen a lot of people who are ranking Texas still above Oklahoma after they there was 3 or 4 AP voters who still had Texas above Oklahoma after they lost.
And where's Oklahoma at?
5.
Yeah, tells you those AP voters.
That's all I got for this week. Jake, anything to add?
Nope.